Once again, my name is Hank Groff. I'm the Senior Vice President over at Dynamark. I've been with the company for about a year. Actually, it's almost exactly a year. And we have built over here a fantastic company. One of the things our philosophy is most of you probably have already found out if you've joined us on a previous webinar, is that we are open. We're sort of an open book. We don't hide anything here like some of the other companies out there that do alarm security sales. While we are a dealer program, we're also a wholesale central station, and we like to help everybody. My philosophy and the philosophy of our CEO, Trey Alter, is, you know what, when you give, it comes back to you. So we're of the philosophy that we'd like to share with anyone out there in the industry ways that you can increase your business. If we prove to you that we've done a good job, there might be a day when you want to use us for your services, such as central station monitoring, or even you want to join a partnership, and that would be where we purchase accounts. So I do want to clarify that. I've got 21 years in the industry, and my original stint was selling alarm systems for ADT. Some of you, probably even many of you, worked for ADT at some point. And during that time, we had a program called the Give One, Get One. And it is really the program that I want to share with you today. Now, before I get into it, I'll share with you that it was extremely successful. I think it continues to be successful if you don't overdo it. So that's why we encourage to only do this once a year during the holidays, during the giving season. It's a great time to go ahead and offer your customer base a chance to, one, help out someone that they love and care about to experience the same protection they've already received, and two, a way that you can give them a gift. So we're going to explain exactly about that. But there's a couple things to think about during the holiday season. As we all know, our industry probably goes at its quietest, slowest season typically during the holidays. Some of you would say clearly that's not the case. And if that is for you, good job. You're obviously keeping your business going. But for many of us, we know it's the slowdown period. While people are shopping, they forget about securing their homes. However, let me remind you, and this is something that in your letter, and we'll talk about the letter in a moment, you can remind your customer base that this is the season when many unfortunate things happen. Obvious one is the burglaries. If someone's looking to break in a house and they look in a window and see a bunch of presents under a tree, that's sort of an invitation to say, hey, let me explore this home to see what I can find. The second thing, and of course the other probable obvious one, is the fire, the likelihood of the greater chance of a fire. When so many candles are burning, when so many lights are on, there's always a greater chance of having a fire start in a home. Of course, even the logs and the flames, things like that. Keep that in mind. And with that, of course, can go carbon monoxide. The third one, and the one that maybe is not thought about as much, is the chance of a medical situation happening and a medical emergency. Of course, we overeat. Some of us eat too fast. There's always this possibility of choking. There's also possibility of sickness. And it all lends itself to the fact that during this time of year, there's always dangerous things that could happen in a kitchen, such as children grabbing hot pots and things like that. So these are things to remember. It really should become the best time of the year for us to protect families and lives. And with Jazz Up Your Holiday Sales presentation I'm about to start with, I think you'll find out it should give you a leg up against your competition. A couple things. You're going to see my pointer. I'll move this around and I'll point out a few things as I speak. The second thing I'm going to do is put this into full screen mode, and up in this upper right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see that two arrows that are pointing outward and inward. If you'll click that, you'll get it full screen mode. I'm going to click it, and I believe in WebEx it will cause your screen to go full screen. If at any time there should be a scroll bar, if you don't see the picture, you can move the scroll bar, which may be down over here on the right. I don't think that'll be a problem. So let's get started. First of all, what is the Get One, Give One promotion? It's a gift certificate program for your existing customers to provide the gift of security to their friends and family. Tom mentioned earlier that he's going to provide you with both the recording as well as Tom may even be able to provide you a snapshot of the certificate. It will be on the PowerPoint. However, you'll see here in a bigger screenshot in a minute what this looks like. But we are big believers that during this holiday season, when people are buying gifts for people that they love and care about, there's a whole group of people that they never get around to giving a gift to. In my experience, and during the season when for ADT we developed the Get One Give One, or the Give One Get One, we were very successful with it. Come to find out that a lot of the holiday gifts that were given for a system were given by customers to their neighbors. And while we're not asking them who to give it to, you'll be surprised to find out that this is sort of one of those kind of gifts where they know their neighbor doesn't have one because they don't see the sign in the yard. And two, they know that obviously this is sort of a gift that didn't cost them anything. So why not give it to somebody in their neighborhood? So whether they give it to a neighbor, a family member that lives around town, or a friend, this is a great way to start the holiday season. How it works. Let's talk about step one. You will produce, and of course the key here is to make sure that this gift certificate that you just saw previously in the previous slide is on well done, well quality, high quality paper, parchment, something that's very nice. Don't use a cheap piece of paper. Over at ADT, when they mailed these out around late October, and the goal was to make sure they got near the customer or in the customer's hands to give to someone they loved about right before the gift buying season, which we all know is around Thanksgiving. The key here was to go ahead and to make it on a nice quality piece of paper, so when it was handed to that individual, there was some value to it. So you will produce and provide gift certificates for a free security system to your customers to give as gifts to friends and family. I like to call security systems a little more than that. I like to call them life protection systems. I've been calling that for about 15 years, if you know me. And whether you put free security system or life protection system or smart home system, as many of them now are, the key here, of course, is that you want to make sure it's on a nice quality certificate. Secondly, your customers will then give those to friends and family during the holiday. I do want to point out that when they do give those out, it's important that whether you have the customer's name pre-written on there or whether they write it on and give it to their friend, which I certainly recommend the first, that you write the customer's name on the certificate, or better yet, if you can have it made in such a way that it's hard printed by a computer, that would be even better. You guys, most of you know how to use mail merge on a computer. You can take a database on an Excel spreadsheet, create your own certificate, put it in, and then it'll print out exactly in the right location the individual's name. So you can do that. Make sure that the name of the person who it's coming from is on there before they hand it to someone. Otherwise, that person calls in and you said, well, what's the name on the certificate? I would assume they would remember, but if it's a neighbor, they may not even remember that. So make sure it's important that that person's name is on that certificate. Step three. The recipient of the gift certificate will call to you to arrange for the installation of the system. So the recipient of the gift certificate receives this from their friend, probably somewhere around Thanksgiving or during the holiday season, and they will make the call, the 800 number call, your local number, to go ahead and have that system installed. Now, at ADT, during this season, I personally, through the gift certificate program, was selling as many as 30 of these systems a day. It was a phone sale. It was done right over the phone, and some of you may want to even try that. You're welcome to do that. Certainly, it's your company, but I do want to encourage you that there's two ways to do this. You can sell it over the phone, or you can set up an appointment and go out and see the customer. Regardless how you do it, if it's done well, it's very effective. So make sure that that person has a clear number where they can call to go ahead and either schedule an appointment or schedule to have it installed. Step four, whether it's sold by a sales rep or whether the technician's going to go out there, make sure to continue to keep the value high. They do not forget to collect the gift certificate. Think of the certificate as the value of $600 or $700. Now, not everyone on this call gives away free or low-cost systems. The thing we do want to point out is whatever you do offer, if there is some form of cost involved, make sure that this promotional offer is one of the best ones you can create for the holiday season. After all, nobody wants to go ahead and receive a gift and then find out it's $1,200. So make sure that it's something that the best offer that you can give from your company. So the sales rep or technician will collect the certificate, which In this world, the value should be hundreds of dollars. Think of it as a check. It's actually then, because it's handed to the technician or the sales rep, that avoids that person having to pay that additional amount of money. Once they hand that certificate over, that'll be collected, and it's that way that we can track, and you can track back to the giver who gave that certificate. And that's why it was so important earlier when I said that the name of the giver has to be on there. Okay, so make sure that they have it on there. We suggest that what is given to the referral is a $100 either gift card, check, however you prefer to do it. Of course, gift cards can be received at any, most of these grocery stores now. You can go almost any grocery store. In Florida, we have Publix. You have Kroger's up north. The key is $100 is value. And it needs to clearly explain the $100 in the cover letter that goes along with this. We'll talk about that in a second. So here's the certificate. Tom was nice enough to design one for everyone. You're welcome to use something like this or design one for yourself. You've got your keypad here on the upper right-hand column. You can use your DSC, your 2 gig, your Interlogix, your Demco, whichever one you want to use. You can put your dealer logo here or your company logo here. And, of course, you'll want to explain exactly what the promotional gift is for. Make sure that, once again, the gift comes from an individual. If you can do mail merge and it's typed in here through the computer, it usually looks that much nicer. But if you've only got 400 or 500 customers and you want to handwrite these, you can do that as well. Once again, any requirements or restrictions you do have, make sure they're listed here to protect yourself, as most companies do have certain restrictions that may apply. If you are a dealer and you sell your paper to someone, make sure you follow your dealer's guidelines as to what's required in order for you to go ahead and give away a promotional system to a family. Next one, so let's talk about making it happen. The key here is that you're not going to give a gift certificate, multiple gift certificates to your customers. To build the value, and everyone here on the call should understand what it takes to build value, is you have to create a sense of urgency. And the only way to create a sense of urgency is you have to have a limited time and limited quantity. We'll talk about the quantity now. You do not want to give the customer more than one certificate. Now, you may say, Hank, well, geez, if I've got 500 customers, that's only 500 opportunities. Yeah, but if you send them 3 or 4, it becomes valueless. They're like, well, that's just a stack of business cards practically. If you keep it to one, it genuinely, they feel as though there is a true value. And if you clearly in the cover letter explain that the value of the system normally, which would be $1,200, is only $199 or $99, or you decide to waive it, genuinely build a value. Don't send more than one. You'll kill your program. I'm forewarning everybody now. You heard me say it. You hear it on the recording. Only one per customer. This creates more value, as I said, makes it very special. Mail the certificate with a letter of explanation as to how the promotion works. Now, remember, the letter is only going to be seen by the customer that you already have. It's important that when you send that letter, and I don't care if you email them ahead of time or call them and let them know it's coming, you've got to put a cover letter in there. Make it short, make it sweet, but explain to them what they're supposed to do the same way I explained in the PowerPoint earlier. It's very important that they clearly understand that, one, they're to give it to one person they love and care about that would meet the requirements if you have certain requirements. Earlier, you saw in the screen above that down here at the bottom, it does say, and I know it may be hard to read it, I'll read it to you. You must be a homeowner. Credit approval and standard monitoring agreement required. Activation fee may be required. Other terms and conditions may apply. Not valid with any other offer. Whatever your restrictions are, your requirements for your program, make sure that you list them here, and then make sure that you describe them in the step here where you go ahead and put a cover letter. So it's important. Also, to explain that there's some motivation involved here. If they do give it to that individual, and if they do have it installed by the 31st of January, which we'll talk as the deadline, then that will qualify them for $100. If they think this program is going to go on forever and they have until July, they'll never hand it to someone. If on the other hand, they get it in mid-November and they know that it has to be not only given to the person but installed by January 31st or whatever date you prefer, I would just make sure it's a reasonable amount of time, then they won't drag on it. They won't sit it aside and forget about it. They'll actually give it to someone. Or, as I said, after you mail it, then make sure that if you have their email, let them know it's coming. Just, I wouldn't say too much. Remember, guys, TMI kills you. In business, too much information will ruin your business. So I would just send them an email and say, there's an important letter coming to you from our company, exciting information. Please read it when you receive it. You might even call them and say, we just mailed it out. I would prefer the email. The calling, they're going to want to go ahead and get too much information, then they're not going to be interested. So if you can't email them, last resort, call them or just mail it out. If you have any questions and you would like to get some more information, we're going to provide this to you. But letters, emails, and scripts, we have some of those available if you need them. I think you can come up with it. It's pretty simple. But if you need the cover letter, Tom can provide that. Make it happen, step number 3. Be sure to collect each certificate, we talked about that, and install the system. And please be sure to honor the $100 gift card promised to you, promised to your original customer. One thing I do want to point out is what you do not want to do is leave this program in the hands of a sales rep. If you are a sales rep on the call, then be honest enough with yourself to say you're busy doing what you do and you need to let the owners handle this. If you're the owner, I would say to you, never, ever, ever, and I don't mean just this program, I mean all programs. Never rely on your sub-dealer or your sales rep to pay the money. They will never pay it. I know most of you are probably chuckling because he's probably got you on mute, but you're probably saying that is so true. The only way to prevent yourself from getting in trouble is to go ahead and manage this yourself. So if they give this out and they have the information and that person gets the system, and that certificate has to come back, it's only then, and that's the way you as a company can manage giving the $100 gift card. Don't say, I'm going to take it out of your pay, you go pay it, or you get it. That's not the way to do it. The company has to manage that. Keeping you in touch. This is a proven program that helps you keep in touch with your existing customers during the holiday season and helps you generate highly valuable referral-based leads. Just to give you a little background on how well this worked, I mentioned earlier that at the National Marketing Center in Jacksonville, Florida, where I currently still live in Atlantic Beach, Florida, and the National Marketing Center is still located in Jacksonville for ADT, back in the years 2000, probably around 1998, 1999, we started this program. The average person that was on the phones was selling anywhere from 15 to 20 of these a day. Add that up towards the holiday season, and it would start around Thanksgiving and go till the end of January, and you figure that we had a huge bump. I believe the last that I recall, you can do the math, guys, but when you factor in, and not everyone who called in had a certificate, we might typically sell 6 or 7 a day on the phone, sometimes as little as 3 or 4. Best day, you might sell 10. And I was their top salesman over there at that time. But when this thing would start, we would jump up to 20. And in some cases, there were some of us selling as many as 30, just depending on how quickly you can move. So do the math. If you just added 10 more systems a day, and there were approximately 40 people selling in the central station or in the marketing center, that's 400 additional systems a day times 60 days. So you do the math. That's a lot of additional systems that the program received, the ADT receives from just this program. Remember, not everyone's going to go ahead and take advantage of it. If you do have their emails and you mail it, you might want to remind them after you've mailed it, maybe within 3 or 4 weeks, that time is running out and they want to give that to someone else. The key here is to create a sense of urgency and to make maximum impact, you have to put a deadline. We suggest January 31. I would not go much later than that, and I wouldn't cut it off sooner than that because people do need time to come back from vacation and get the system installed. That about covers that program here. Does anyone here have any questions? Tom, I don't know if you have them on mute, but if you do, you might want to unmute them so they can answer. Does anybody have any questions on the program?
I'm going to unmute everybody. Everybody's now off of mute. If you have any questions, please chime in.
Anybody have any questions on the program for me?
No questions whatsoever. This is Knight Security, but thank you for sharing that information with us.
Absolutely. Has anybody, let me ask you this question, anybody on the call has ever done the Give One, Get One holiday promotion? Anybody at all? Okay. Well, once again, everyone, I encourage you to use it. It's valuable. It works. It's proven to work. I've used it myself. And continue to keep us in mind. We're a great company that will take care of you as well as our customer. And anything we can do to continue to help you, stay tuned and continue to join us on these calls, because we'll continue to have each month to make your business valuable. Thanks for attending, guys. Have a great week and a great month.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.